And we are live. All right. Stand up next to a mountain and chop it down with the edge of my hand. That's
that from?
Voodoo Child, man. That's some Hendrix.
All right.
So it is just me and Rich. Well, that's not true. For now, it's just Rich and me. We don't have a featured interview guest. But it is, I'm Jack Mangan. I feel like shit today, but I'm here. The world feels like shit today, but we're here. I am rocking the Catatonia shirt. I am associated with Am-I-Evil and the Am-I-Evil graphic novel, MetalAsylum.net, and Metal Hall of Fame. And I'm going to share this bad boy around on Facebook a little bit. So go ahead, Rich, why don't you tell the nice people about yourself?
All right. I'm from Metal Asylum also, and Brave Words Magazine and the Metal Hall. And I do some things for the Am-I-Evil graphic novel as well. And we're here today to talk about our top 20 albums of the year and any other releases we want to talk about that came out from 2020. So even though it was a crazy year, obviously for a variety of reasons, there was still a lot of music that came out. If you look at all the releases that came out this year, there's a good 50 albums or so that came out. So we're going to talk about our 20 that landed in both our lists and maybe a couple other things. Actually, I'm going to go back and forth between mine at the Asylum and Brave Words because I did two of them.
Right. Oh, you had different lists?
They're slightly different. Yeah, because there was a couple that I totally forgot about after I sent the Asylum to you, and then I sent the other one to Brave Words. So I was like, shit. I was like, maybe I could fix this. So I could throw a couple in there, that's on the Asylum list that I didn't throw on the Brave Words one.
That's cheating, Rich. I declared
it is totally cheating.
We're throwing out your results.
But when you got 50 or more albums that came out over the year, or 60, whatever it was, you're always going to forget something. You don't realize it,
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll say, and all of you guys out there in the media who have done top 20 lists, or even if you're not in the media, if you just did it for yourself, my list changed many, many times in December. So that's I'm almost done with my little sharing round. But yeah. So we have to also really address today. We're live right now on January 6th, 2021, which is unfortunately a historic day in America. So we're not here to talk politics or drag you into it.
So happens to be kind of a historical moment, so it's a good thing to mention for being live on this day.
Yeah, and it's shameful, it's fucked up, but we're not here to talk about that or drag you into it or drag you down. We're here to talk about something good.
The metal,
which is 2020. But at the same time, if you don't have the bandwidth or the temperament today for this, I get it. No one, it's all good.
Yeah, that's why it goes to our That's why it goes to our Asylum Facebook page on the video section, so you can always go back to it.
I will say I don't anticipate any bullshit, but any bullshit will not be tolerated. We'll kick you right the fuck out. That's. I mean,
this is supposed to be a break from the bullshit. So
right. Shut up, Rich. Journey sucks, man. No, I'm kidding. I love Journey. So
if you don't love Journey, there's something wrong with you.
Actually, Rich is a better Journey fan than me. I actually don't really know the prog era all that well. I love the ones that everybody loves.
So you like everything from what album for going forward?
Escape. Escape and Frontiers.
Frontiers.
Yeah, and I think Frontiers is a great album. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about. So I'm sorry. That's on me. That distraction. Why don't you go first?
You're fucking up the whole program, dude.
I know. Since you're a little more focused today, why don't you go first and tell us about some of the ones that didn't quite make the top 20, but that are I'll shut up. Go ahead and tell us.
What were we going to say?
Well, I was going to say so here's how it's going to go, everyone. We're going to do our top 20. We're really going to get in depth and talk about our top 20 albums of the year. We're also going to talk about some ones that just missed the cut. By the way, you can see all this. Right. You can see all this at MetalAsylum.net, the website, in the features section, by the way. But where we did our top 25. So we're not going to go in depth on the ones that didn't hit number 20. But we're also, at the end, we're going to talk about other stuff, like books that came out this year. I actually listed a bunch of heavy stuff that didn't make the cut. Oh, yeah, there you go. Heavy stuff that wasn't quite metal, but was close to metal. So there you go. All right, I'm going to shut up. Rich is going to tell us.
All right, so if we're going to graze over our 25. So my 25, I started with Raven, Metal City. Have you heard that one?
I have not heard the new Raven. That's on my list of ones that I might have missed. But you know,
okay,
of course, so it's Raven. I mean, it's metal history.
It's very cool. They were, new wave of British heavy metal band. This is their 14th album. I really like the last one before this, actually a little bit more than this one, Extermination. I think it was produced a little better. It's got a better sound. But Metal City is very cool. Still very classic Raven. If you like the early stuff from the 80s, Wiped Out, and All for One, then you'll like this album. And it's still the Gallagher brothers tuned the band too. Bass player and the singer. Bass player, singer, and the brother, the guitar player. So that was my 25. Then I went to the Evil Dead, United States of Anarchy, which is very ironic for today.
Right.
Which that one's on your list too, someplace, right?
That's actually, it's my number 27. So I'm going to cheat.
27.
Rich is going to cheat and combine Brave Words and MetalAsylum. I'm going to cheat.
Wait, you did 27.
No, I didn't. I didn't do 27. It actually, United States of Anarchy is not on MetalAsylum under my list, but
oh, okay.
I agree with everything you can say. I did write them a really good review on MetalAsylum because it's an excellent album. It really is.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they were an late 80s thrash band. Then I got the Delane album, Apocalypse and Chill. That's a female-fronted, melodic, symphonic metal band. They're from where are they from? I forgot.
I thought they're Swedes, but
Sweden,
I apologize.
Finland, I think.
Yeah. I apologize if
one of the Scandinavian countries. I forgot. So that was good. Then Nightmare, Eternum, I think you pronounce it. That was a very cool album. The New Sodom. That's what number is it? If it's X1X, is that 21?
X1X is 19.
X1X is 19. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a cool album. Very thrashy, like they always are. They've never really changed, and they have 2 guitar players in the band now. So that was really good for this album. And then start my top 20 was the Black Swan album, Shake the World. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
That was with Red Beach from Winger.
Right.
And Rob McCauley from McCauley Schenker Group and Jeff Pilson from Dokken. So that was very good melodic 80s style hard rock album. So yeah, it's my first 5 to get to 20. So what do you got for yours?
All right, very nice. Actually, that's 6 there, Rich. I'm going to disqualify you on those.
Why?
Because actually, you listed 6 albums. You did Black Swan, Sodom, Nightmare, Delane, Evil Dead, and Raven.
You're right. I cheated. All right.
I'm going to kick Rich off the broadcast. Thank you, Rich. No, I'm kidding. All right.
I don't know how to count. It's the end of the day. I don't know how to count.
And by the way, if you're out there watching, do chime in with your thoughts on the year in music and metal for 2020.
What albums did we not maybe mention?
Right. Because we had some viewer numbers and it's going down. By the way, I said this about 5 minutes ago, but I'll say it again. This is your break from the insanity that you're watching on the news right now. So we're not. We fully respect what's going on.
Of course.
Well, I'll rephrase that, but we fully respect the importance of what's going on.
We understand what's going on and why everybody's watching. That's it.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, my top albums. Oh, shit, I lost them now. My top albums of 2020. So yeah, before we get to my top actual 20, I did have Evil Dead. It didn't actually make it on the website, as I just said before. It would have been like it really just missed. And actually, as I was editing this thing, it kind of bubbled up and came and went. Same with AC/DC's Power Up. AC/DC were back. Their new album was out in 2020. It's not classic AC/DC, but it is a strong album and it's listenable. I will not file it away and never listen to it again. It's pretty good.
What would you say it's like a combination of? Is it a combination of anything from the obviously it's going to sound like the Brian Johnson era. So does it sound like one of those albums?
Yeah, it sounds like the last one, that Walmart one they did, which I'm blanking on the name. Was it Black Ice or whatever it's called? The one that
There's one after that though, I think.
I don't, if
Right?
it may have missed. That's the last one I remember from them.
I'm going to look it up. Go ahead, keep talking. I'm going to look it up.
Yeah, but anyway, it's a lot. It's the most like that. It's more like that than anything else. It's better than that album. I think it's similar to Razor's Edge, and it's probably the best thing I've heard from them since Razor's Edge. I don't hold it up with, and you know, if you know me and my love of AC/DC, you know, I think Fly on the Wall.
I'll pull the card for you. Yeah. It's not like Fly on the Wall.
Yeah, it's not as good as Fly on the Wall by a long shot, but I love Fly on the Wall more than most.
I know.
So anyway,
you're missing an album. Rock or Bust was in 2014. That's in between Black Ice and Power
Up. Thank you, Leanna Roman.
Thanks, Leanne.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I just bungled your name. Sorry, but yeah, we appreciate you jumping on and talking and showing us the love here. All right, so I'm talking too much. So at number 25, another.
No, finish out what you were saying about the AC/DC. Does it remind you of like not Flick of the Switch, Fly the Wall or anything, or no?
Well, because it's Brian Johnson, and Brian Johnson sounds more powerful than he has since. Because I mean, I think for years he sounded a little bit just like he was getting a little bit worn thin. Like the power behind what he does was taking his soul. That's not a knock on him. He's one of the greatest vocalists of all time. And what he does is incredible. I mean, you try to sing Back in Black. Go ahead.
Right.
But you know, he sounds powerful again, and more power to him. And you know, thank whatever you want to thank that we have at least one more AC/DC record. I mean, it's great.
Yeah, these guys aren't young anymore.
Well, right. Yeah, hopefully the world will allow them to do one more tour. I mean, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to run through the next ones then. Unleash the Archers, great female-fronted power metal band. I loved their last one. I really like this one too.
I know you like this guy a lot.
Yeah, I prefer Apex, but I think this album is very good too. Great band. I expect them to kind of rule the metal world in this decade. I actually got to give a hat tip to Prog Power for pointing out a very small release that I really liked a lot. It's called Black Painted Moon. Personae is the album title. It's metal for sure, but there's a little bit of all things a Fiona Apple vibe. So it's really good.
Prog Power is always good for pulling out different, unique bands, especially for their lineup on the festival.
Yeah, I mean, you know, again, I know we're not laser focused here. We're not laser focused, but I got to just give a big tip of the hat to Prog Power just for being amazing. And also, while we're at it, while we're throwing kudos, Metal Voice, they just bring it every week. So kudos to those two metal institutions out there.
You know, I went to Prog Power, right? Once.
Yeah, that's incredible.
It was the third one or the fourth one. I forgot what number it was, but it was Angra, Blind Guardian, Gamma Ray, and Ed Guy's debut in America.
Oh, wow.
That was just, you know, incredible.
You got to see Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai Hansen.
That new meme is hysterical.
All right, anyway. Rich is distracting me, people. I blame Rich.
Yeah, we're going off on tangents here. What's going on?
Yeah. All right, we're going to say laser focus now. Number 23, the Graham Bonnets. I don't care about the controversy. The new Alcatraz album is very good. Born Innocent is a very good album. One of my favorite thrash bands of all time, Heathen, Empire of the Blind. Their new album is at number 22. And then speaking of Blind Guardian, there's an album from a band called Persuader that came out right in December called Necromancy. It's got a very Blind Guardian feel. It's a very good album. Honestly, if it had come out earlier in the year and I'd had more time to digest it, it might have been even higher on my list. But that's where, actually, since Rich went to 20, I'll also, my number 20 was, actually, I don't have a shitload to say about this album. It was the Trivia album, Trivium album, What the Dead Men Say. You know, they sometimes veer into sounds I don't much like, but you know, they also bring it. You know, they bring great riffs, great power. Trivium are a good band. They've been around. They've been doing this a long time. So, you know, that album, it stuck with me enough to make my top 20.
Okay. All right. So my 19 is the Michael Pond Silent Assassins.
Yes.
Or Babylon. That's in your list, I think, too, right?
Yeah, it's higher on my list. Yeah, it's
Yes.
Great album.
So Michael Pon's the bass player from Symphony X. So this is the third album of his traditional heavy metal music. Alan Tecchio sings from him, and then he has a couple other guys playing guitar and a drummer.
Yeah, it is a beautiful album. It's really smart lyrically.
Yeah, Tecchio sounds great singing on it. It's if you love, which everybody does, if you love Maiden and Priest and old Man-O-War and even newer bands like Blind Guardian, or a little bit of maybe Stratovarius is in there, just not without the higher vocals. Maybe more like a Rhapsody of the symphonic type of power metal. So there's a little bit of splatters of that in there. But yeah, for traditional metalheads, that's a great album.
Agreed. Yeah. I'll get it out now. So I'll skip over that one when it gets to me. I'll just basically agree with everything Rich said. Alan Tecchio sounds awesome. Speaking of another veteran his voice is just, he's got so much power. And yeah, Mike LePond is just the elite. He's such an elite bass player, and he got lead bass on the album. It's just, and it's heavy as hell. It's a little bit of Symphony X vibe, of course, but yeah.
Not too much though. Not too much. It's very traditional heavy metal.
Right. Yeah, exactly. As you said, I mean, there's definitely a dividing line. It's great album.
Okay, so we're at what, 18?
Yeah,
18.
Well, yeah. So you give a couple. Well, let's just keep it informal. I'll jump in. Okay. Do a couple. I'll do a couple.
All right, so I'll do two more. 18 is Sirius Black, Sweet 226. You know those guys?
Yeah, I've been listening to them for a bunch of years. And of course, we're big Harry Potter fans in this house, so that the name drew me in first. But yeah, they're a good band. I mean, I liked their. I'm drawing a blank. I apologize. I liked their previous one. I think I liked their previous one more than this one. But good band for sure.
It's that melodic European style power metal,
right?
But it's not like like Stratovarius or Rhapsody, where it's the keyboards and the guitars. It's more of the keyboards that are in the background, and the guitars and the riffs are more dominant in their music. But they still have the layered. They still have the layered, vocal melodies and harmonies.
I don't know what the right word is. They're a little bit more theatrical. I don't know if that's the
right they're a little more dramatic, maybe sounding, especially in their videos. They have the way they dress, and sometimes depending on what the song's about. So yeah, that's 18, and then Rage, Wings of Rage. Do you know Rage?
Yes, and I won't make any cracks about Rage Against the Machine, but yes, I know the band Rage. They're German. They're German, I believe. This Rage.
Yes, and I just got to do my homework because they have a ton of albums out. But I've always liked these guys. I've liked them for the longest time. This is there's so many albums. 21.
Right. This is
the 24th album.
Yeah, I was gonna say they do predate the more famous, Rage Against the Machine for sure.
Oh yeah. So they started out like a speed metal band, and then they evolved into more power and prog. And then within the last, I'd say 4 or 5 albums, they went back to a little more speed metal. But this one's a nice balance between the 80s speed metal and the more orchestrated and mix of the power metal and the prog metal on Wings of Rage. So that was a very enjoyable return, I thought, for them. And then 16, depends on what list you're looking at. 16, I have Traveler, Termination Shock on my Brave Words list. So Traveler is a traditional heavy metal band, one of the new wave of that. Right. And then on my other list, I have Cloven Hoof. Remember those guys?
Yeah. I to be honest, they were a little bit more underground even than, my exploratory tastes went. Yeah. But yeah, I do know of them. I know their respect. I should check out Age of Steel. I did miss the album.
Yeah, it's very cool. And the singer sounds like Tecchio meets Bruce Dickinson.
That's high praise, man.
Yeah, it's a very, very cool album. Well, all those new wave of British heavy metal bands have been putting out some really good albums in recent years. Great, right. Steve Grimmett's Grim Reaper, Diamond Head, Satan, Demon, Praying Mantis. They've all been putting out new music. They're all back.
Yeah. The new Angel Witch is actually a very good album.
New Angel Witch, yes, I forgot about that. That came out, I think, last year.
Yeah, I hope so, because it's not on my list.
I'll look it up. I'm pretty sure that came out last year. Yeah, that was a great album too.
So
right, I'm going to jump in.
I'm going to jump in if you're good.
Yeah, I'm good. So that's we're at 16. Okay.
Yeah, I'll stop at 16. So my number 19, it's funny. I'll say this really quick. So it's another tangent here. Rich and I, our lists are really very different, but I think Rich's list is awesome. Like Rich's list is not like, oh, that's that crap. I think Rich's list is great. So
Thanks.
So it's funny,
yours is great. Yours is great too, because you pick a lot of different types of bands and metal that I don't usually listen to either. So I can always go back and do my homework on those type of, those bands and those albums.
Right. Well, cool.
But the Angel Witch, by the way, the Angel Witch came out. It was called Angel of Light. It was from 2019, so it was about a little more than a year ago.
Yeah, we didn't miss it. All right. But speaking of the bands that that I really dig, there's a band that Rich knows, of course, Catatonia. They had City Burials was this year. Right. It's a modern day Catatonia record. It's deeper, it's gloomier, it's more somber. But it's
and they've been around for a long time, right?
Yeah, since the early I believe, or right around 1990, maybe 91.
Wow.
The Fall of Hearts was one of the absolute top albums of the last decade, and this isn't up to that level, but it's still pretty great. It's a great album. Like I said, it's a little bit softer, a little bit more mellow, but and that's the direction they've been going. Really, their whole career. That's been their whole trajectory. But it's good. Okay. Next is one I know that you and I have listened to and like. Is Jeff Scott Soto. He came out with a solo album, Wide Awake in My Dreamland. He is actually, just a quick spoiler, he's going to be on my list twice. He's going to make 2 appearances. But, I will be completely honest, the songs on Wide Awake in My Dreamland, not everyone is a banger, but the ones that are, the top ones are just fantastic. And I'll take that any day over like 10 mediocre songs as opposed to like a couple of mediocre ones and a couple of great ones. Desperate.
I think I would have made my list if it came out about a month and a half earlier, because it came out in like late November, I want to say.
Well, all of you streamers, go check out Jeff Scott Soto's the song "Desperate," the title track from "Wide Awake in My Dreamland," and actually the song called "Without You," which is not a Motley Crue cover. It's a Jeff Scott Soto original. That's a very good one too. Next one is actually kind of the same deal. It's a kind of an obscure band. They remind me a little bit of Vanden Plas, a little bit of that kind of stuff there, although they're a little bit more proggy, like classic proggy, a little bit more, just prog metal. Dead Cosmonaut came out with the album Gravitas. And honestly, to be completely blunt, I don't really love all the songs of the album. This is one it's more of an extreme case, but honestly, it made it this high because the final two tracks, it's actually a 2-parter song called Dead Cosmonaut, is just one of the best songs of the year. It's gotten a lot of spins for me. It's just slow tempo, epic, and it's brilliant. Great song. Check out the song Dead Cosmonaut with a K from Dead Cosmonaut. And then, oh crap, I can't even pronounce the next one.
Who is it? What's the band?
I should type
can't even pronounce the band? You can't pronounce the band?
So I'm going to make a go at it, and I apologize to everyone. But it's Havu Crew Nu, and it's Uinwos Siomine Sota. They're
wow. Where are they from? Do you know?
They are Swedes, also, I believe. Again, I should have done 10 minutes of more homework, but it's really heavy. It's a little bit in the Amon Amarth camp. It's the kind of stuff. What I wrote about it, and actually I didn't publish the review. What I wrote about it is it's the kind of stuff you listen to while you're suiting up your armor to go off and fight the Uruk-hai, or if you're one of the Uruk-hai, this is what you listen to. But I got actually, you know what? I apologize to Havu Crew Nu. They're Finnish. They're from Finland. So actually, I got a quote. I'm actually going to quote another journalist because this was such a hilarious line to me. Because I just loved it. So the guy from Stereogum, the writer named Ian Chaney, said the title track to this album opens with the manliest choir since the Bears shuffled to the Super Bowl. Which to me, that's like I would have made a Manowar crack, but he went with the Super Bowl shuffle from the Bears in 1985. So kudos to Ian Chaney of Stereogum, but kudos to Havu Crew Nu. It's a really actually I don't want to poke fun at their name or the music. Really good heavy stuff. All right, I'll check our comments, see how we're doing. See if we lost anyone while I was butchering names here. So what's your like
we're at 15?
Yeah, 15 through 12 or so. What do you got?
Yeah, so 15 is the self-titled new Firewind album. So that's
right.
Gus G's band, which they got started in 2002. That was Between Heaven and Hell, the first album. So they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. This is the 9th album that they put out. So he had a brief stint with Ozzy for a few years,
right?
But unfortunately, he didn't get to do his thing when he was in the band. He was just pretty much just playing the parts. But with Firewind, he does his thing. He does all the writing and all that. So it's your great traditional heavy metal meets a little bit of power metal, a little bit of both. So they've been putting out strong records ever since the beginning. I always supported the band, interviewed them a few times. So even if it was, if it was a bad album, obviously I wouldn't put it in my list. But they've been consistently strong, so it definitely lands in my 20.
Great.
You know me,
great.
I don't pull punches. I don't like a band just because I like them. If it's a bad album and it shits the bed, then I don't like it.
I agree. Yeah, I know that about you too, and yeah, he's a killer guitar player too. So
yeah, so yes, that's at 15, and then 14 is Wolf, Feeding the Machine. Do you know those guys?
There have been so many Wolf bands that have come out over the past couple of years, but
we got Power Wolf. They're huge now. They're like one of the biggest power metal bands right now. But Wolf, they're from Sweden as well. Didn't you say the last band you talked about was Sweden?
No, Havakruunu were Finnish. I'm
Finnish. All right, so they're Swedish. So their first album came out in 2000. So this is 20 years that they've been out, Wolf. And I got to see them in 2002, I want to say, or 2004. I forgot. Because Black Wings was 2002 and Evil Star was 2004. But somewhere in between there, I saw the Brave Words festival that they did. And Wolf played it. I think it was 2003 because Gravedigger was there, Seven Witches, Dora was there. And I'm pretty sure they're on the same year as all those other bands. So yeah, this is great traditional heavy metal. That's what they are. A little bit of power metal once in a while, but it's mostly, no frills traditional heavy metal. So if you've never heard of these guys, definitely check them out. They got a bunch of great albums: Black Wings, Evil Star. The Black Flame is probably my favorite one, but Feeding the Machine is very strong. And then Gravedigger, another one of my all-time favorites. So Fields of Blood is the newest one. And let me see how many albums these guys got. A lot of albums out too. You remember them, right?
Oh yeah. These guys have been around since
heavy metal breakdown and Witch Hunter and War Games from the 80s, right?
Right. Yeah. Like they got started in 82, 83, 84. I don't know. Yeah.
83 because 84 was Heavy Metal Breakdown. So yeah, they got a lot of albums too. And this is Fields of Blood is part of the Tunes of War story. So I think this is the last part of that story, that concept album.
Oh, so nice.
Chris Boltonthal, he's still the singer. He's been there since the beginning. And it's a great power metal album. They have some of their albums are more speed metal, like the older stuff from the 80s. And then things like Heart of Darkness and The Reaper and the Gravedigger album. But when you get up to Ballads of a Hangman and The Clans Will Rise Again, and then you got Fields of Blood, those are more power metal based albums because they put in the bagpipes and they got some symphonic elements that they add in and orchestrations.
Right.
So Fields of Blood is great. Very solid Gravedigger.
All right. You know what, Rich? You're going too slow here, so I'm going to bring in some help to speed things up. Because Richard,
awesome.
you're going way too slow. Jack, I'm glad you're here to help kind of kick Rich in the ass a little bit.
No. Don't get me involved in your shenanigans. All right.
It's funny though. You're just jumping in when I just talked about the new Gravedigger album that had number 13 for me.
Are you very happy?
Who you know Gravedigger and you know Chris, right?
Dude, Chris is the sweetest guy in the whole world. He really is. He's a sweetheart, dude.
He is very cool.
We've got Didi Verney on the phone. He says to throw that out the window, Rich.
He's already thinking about like this. Get the fuck out of here!
It's a great story.
Yeah. So we got, for those of you who don't know, somehow we got Jack motherfucking Frost is in the building. He's in the chat. So good to see you, man.
From Seven Witches in the Bronx Casket Company.
That's right.
And a couple other things which you could probably talk about if you want.
Did you forget Aldenova?
And yeah, sorry,
I mean,
Aldenova now. I forgot. So, my bad.
Jack,
I made up for it with the journey
here.
I know, this is like, you should look at all the old videos and just watch this thing keep growing. I'm actually trying to sneak into Anthrax. I'm just one night, I'm going to just show up backstage and be like, yeah, I'm Scott Ian. What are you talking about? And then
dude, Scott be like, all right, that's cool, but I'm going to go sip wine right now. Okay. you can do one song. All right. That's it.
Feel like, why did that
I think my shirt made up for my Aldenova mistake, right?
Yeah.
I'll give you that. I'll give you mad props. Hey, first of all, happy holidays, guys. Nice to see you all. And
yes, happy New Year.
Yeah. Everything good with everybody?
Yep.
Good.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't want to keep you guys. I know you got a lot going on. So
yeah,
no, well, join us for a few and tell us a couple of your favorite albums of the year.
Yeah.
You want me to go right now?
Sure. Yeah.
We're going back and forth, so throw a couple in there, and then we'll go back to ours.
I gotta say the highlight of as everyone complained about COVID and being locked in, I gotta give mad props to At the Movies. They made my Fridays.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, man, if things were like down and you're locked in your house, you're blah 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 blah. Mm-hmm. I tell you, man, I look forward to Friday. To seeing those videos and I reached out I'm friends with a lot of those guys and like, man, talk about taking great songs. Like they just did such a great job, That record, I actually have the record and everything. It is the most funnest, and the musicians are so top notch, man. They're just incredible. I love that.
Yeah, you got the bass player from King Diamond, you got the guitar player from Hammerfall, you got the singer from Soilwork. Who else is in that band? The drummer from Pretty Maids.
The guitar player from Pretty Maids.
And the drummer too is from Pretty Maids, right? I think.
Chris Laney, man, dude, he's awesome, dude.
The whole band's awesome.
It's just, and I forget where the female's from. She's great, dude. She's great.
Yeah.
The whole band is just, it's great. If you want to my opinion is, if you want to smile and have a good time.
Listen to that. Yeah.
It's great.
Absolutely.
It's great. I mean,
I love their song selections that they're doing, like
great.
these 80s like pop hits. It's fantastic.
I don't know if you guys noticed they did a couple of more after the fact too. They just did one last week just because I think they're going to make another one. They did so well with this and so many people loved it,
Yeah.
So
well, they do movie soundtrack songs like they did Tina Turner's "We Don't Need Another Hero."
That was great.
Right.
And also the singer from Pretty Maids was on one track too. Remember?
Yes, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, he did.
He's on there too.
He did one track. That was just killer, man, killer.
Well, I think he's on the Tina Turner song.
Yeah,
I think he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, since you went there, Jack, I don't know if you've heard or if you've seen 2 Minutes to Late Night do the same kind of thing, and they have a lot of different guest stars come through, and they actually did No Presents for Christmas. They do really fun. It's the same kind of thing.
Yeah,
they do a lot
of. I know what you talk about. I mean, it's really great. I just think for me, this was just the best thing to get you through crappy times. It was great.
Yeah.
Right.
Good point. Okay, give us another one. What else did you listen to this year?
Oh, I'm being a cheese bag. I just want to get the name of the record right, but I just gotta look. Hands down, the new Harem Scarum is just brutally amazing.
Well, you've always been a fan of him. I know that. Harry and the band.
Well, you know what, dude? I'll say this. I had the luck. I swear, I'm so fortunate to have had Harry sing on a couple of my songs and mix them. I love Harry's voice, his tone. Dude, but you know what? Everyone's forgetting how amazing Peter is on guitar. Pete is just ridiculous, dude. He's like a modern day, like people don't get it. He's like everything Nuno and Eddie, rest his soul. He's just such an amazing fluent player. And dude, the whole band, Darren, I mean, he sings for Jakey Lee, but he's such a great drummer and such a great vocalist. That record is like everything I love from the debut and all the way up. It's just great. It's just a great record. I mean, people that haven't got it, the quality and it's just amazing. It's just amazing. Just got to be honest.
Awesome.
I've not heard it, so I'm making a note right now.
You haven't heard that yet?
No, I haven't heard the new.
I haven't either.
Check out the videos; they're great. I mean, Harry's production just gets better and better and better, dude. He's like a modern day Beau Hill. You know, he could produce Def Leppard. That's how good. You know, he's just. I gotta say, man, he's a genius, hands down.
All right, cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Mangan, go back to your.
Yeah,
you want one more? You want to wait?
No,
Let Mangan go a couple, and then we'll go back to you.
What do you got,
All right.
Jack?
All right. Well, actually, we left off at I don't know where I leave off at. I left off at number
13.
Number 16. I did number 16. That was the one I couldn't pronounce. You know, it's on my top 20 list. I still couldn't pronounce. They're Finnish. They're called Havu Krunu. Anyway, number 15 is a band that everyone probably is a little more familiar with. It came out in January, but still counts. The new Annihilator, Ballistic Sadistic. They're just having a blast. Of course, I mean the lyrical stuff. They go there. It gets into deep and heavy and dark humor stuff. But it's an excellent album. The new Annihilator is fantastic. Psycho Ward, just a modern thrash classic. So I don't think it's on par with Alice in Hell, but if you like Annihilator, it's great stuff.
Dude,
number 14.
Waters he's a genius, dude. He's just ridiculous. I mean, he's ridiculous. That record's great. I love it. I love anything. I like when he sings. I'm still like, for me, Set the World on Fire, my top 10 of all times.
Mm-hmm.
You know that.
Yeah.
I got an animal scratch.
And Never Neverland too, right?
What?
And Never Neverland too, right?
They're all great, but Set the World on Fire, if I was going to be buried, that's one of the 10 CDs in my coffin.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know where Jack went. Maybe I had to go to the bathroom.
What's he, a football player? He's going to go to the bathroom, come back and score a touchdown?
Well, I'll throw out a couple of my next next numbers here while he's gone. So my 12 was the New Testament, Titans and Creation. Did you hear that one?
Yes.
Solid as always. The playing is solid as always. Skolnick and Peterson are just killing it on the leads. And let's see. This is another one that you're probably going to mention, if I don't. The Fates Warning, Long Day, Good Night. That's at my 11, Jack Frost.
What?
the Fates Warning. That's one of your favorites this year too, right?
Dude, you can't even like put Fates Warning on every year. It's just like, it should just be like anytime a record's released by them, it's going to be Stella. And dude, Ray's getting better with age. It's crazy.
Such a great singer.
Dude, he's, I mean.
And so underrated and not talked about a lot.
Yeah, you know what, dude? They are, but the real musicians and the real, dude,
Yeah.
I mean, it's the funny thing about Ray. It's like people like, older records are like, oh, he doesn't have those highs anymore. Have you heard the last 2 records?
Yeah.
It's insane. Well, dude, he even told me he quit smoking, drinking, and he's just, his voice, like he doesn't have a problem, but when you smoke, he just, you see how it's stupid good.
Okay. All right, Mangan, go ahead. Go back to what you were saying. Sorry. Can't hear you.
Can't hear you, Jackie.
Oh, I was on mute.
Can't hear you.
I was on mute. There we go. No, I was doing my mime. No, the dog wanted in the bedroom, so that means what's going to happen in about 3 seconds. She's going to want out again, so I'm going to have to get up again. But I'll talk while I'm here.
Okay.
So let's see. I left off. It's actually kind of hitting the same category. Well, I take it back. Annihilator was my number 15. My number 14, the new Armored Saint, of course. Just John Bush and Joey Vera and the whole crew. Honestly, this is one of their best albums. It's not even like, oh yeah, they're just punching in and punching out until they retire. Like, no, it's them at peak form. So Armored Saint at number 14 for me. And that's, like I said, I'm going to try and be succinct so that we can actually make it to the end of this thing.
That's all right. Go a couple more because I threw out 2 more. I'm down to 11. So throw a couple more out real quick.
I got one that I'm going to say, I'll preface it to say, if you're not into the kind of heady, proggy stuff, then you should probably stay away. But I'd put the newest Paradise Lost, Obsidian. Of course, if you're into Fate's Warning, Paradise Lost, or Catatonia, I mean, you're going to be in your glory. It's a very, very strong album. It's really smart, really, really deep, just great stuff. And they sound great. You know, it's one you can kind of sit down and just get it into. It's challenging, but in the right ways. I got one more if you want. I'll just jump in.
Yeah, throw 2 more out.
So actually, I'm going to quote the brilliant journalist, me, from my own review. For my own review of this one. This is an obscure one. But basically, so the band is called Alchemist, maybe Alchemist. It's ALKYMIST. The album is Sanctuary. And what my brilliant comment on them was, it's like Sepultura meets Pink Floyd, meets Sleep, meets Draconian, meets Typo Negative, meets With the Dead. So they have a very Cavalera-esque vocals, but yeah, it's just a glorious. What my other brilliant comment was that it's a glorious collision of doom, thrash, death, and prog. So there you go.
That's a whole new level.
That's a whole new genre.
I like that.
Right. I mean, you know, you're not going to go out dancing to it, but it's good. It's good stuff. All right, so that was my number 12. I'll actually, you know what, Rich? I'll just go to number 11, then we'll have my top 10.
Yep.
My number 11 is the second appearance of Jeff Scott Soto, and I know actually that I'm going to get I believe I'm going to get a rise out of both of you guys. Is the Sons of Apollo is the album, the Portnoy. Their album. It's Portnoy, Jeff Scott Soto, Bumblefoot, Billy Sheehan, and Derek Sherinian. So, you know, a band where Billy Sheehan, who is amazing, is arguably the weakest link. And again, that's not a knock on him. He's one of the most incredible bass players ever. But I mean, you know, that band is just. But I don't listen to a band for talent. I listen to a band, or you know, I can admire talent, but I mean, the songs have got to be good. And these guys write great songs. All of them, all 5 of them, great songwriters, great musicians. It's a great album. Sons of Apollo are just fantastic. That's
it's a super group.
Yeah, but again, so super groups sometimes phone it in. You know, we've seen that happen.
Have you seen them live?
I have not seen them live. No,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. Yeah.
Honestly, and here I go, like not trying to be like, oh, my buddies, but Ron is probably technically one of the best guitar players to ever walk the earth.
Yeah, he doesn't miss a note. He doesn't miss a trick.
Well, the thing about Ron is he doesn't even just know the neck. He literally, when we did that Axes and Anchors cruise, he's just a great guy, first of all. But he's just so well versed, and like, dude, he can just tell you without even, you know, like, he's that guy. Like, you know, he's the modern day Frank Zappa. Like, Zappa was just
versatile
beyond, you know. And when Vi sat down and transcribed all that stuff to get that gig, that's Bumblefoot. But they write amazing songs. That's the craziest thing about it. Like,
they write songs.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be an all-star band. There's no songs. Sometimes there is bands like that. They're great bands, but this to me is Jack. Great call.
Yeah.
Cool. Excellent. All right, Rich. Where'd you leave off?
All right. So my 10 was the Striper.
Good call.
Even the devil believes. So what number album is this for these guys? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 13th album. And it's still Michael and his brother, Robert, and Oz Fox on guitar. And they got Perry, what's the last name, Jack? Richardson, I want to say?
Yeah, from Firehouse.
From Firehouse on bass. So this is their this is their 4th newer album since the 2000s when they got back together. Great album, still heavy riffs, still big melodies, still big harmonies, great hooks. They're still cranking it out. They haven't lost a beat. So yeah, that one's definitely in my 10. If it was a bad album, I would say it was, and it wouldn't make my 10, but it's another strong one, so that's why they made it into my 10.
Would you actually say that? You're a very nice guy. You don't go for jugulars like some people. You're not like Sally.
No, but you know that if something wasn't good, I wouldn't put it in my 20.
Oh.
Even if I like the band, you know?
True.
Right.
I'll be honest. So all right, back to Jack Frost. What would you throw out for another album for the year that you like?
I love this band from Europe called Wilderness. Okay.
Wilderness?
Wilderness. They're
Never heard
great.
of them.
They're great AOR. Check them out. They're awesome. Their first record, when I was playing with Beauvoir, we played the Heat Festival, and those guys they're young guys, another Swedish, Finnish band that, white blonde hair, looking like, like it's 1984, which is killer. But their singer left the band. So they have a new singer now. Dude, they didn't miss a beat. Talk about not missing a beat. Actually, the new singer is a little more versatile. Great record. Check it. Wilderness. I mean,
what's the name of the album? Is it just Wilderness?
Let me see. I can tell you. Yeah, it's just their first record had a different name. But Brave Words has them up there. They have a lot of the video up there. Did a nice review on it. Really great record.
Awesome. I'll check that one out.
Yeah, you'll like it.
All right, Mangan. Back to you, Mangan. We're at 9. 10-9.
All right, Catino. Let me see. Well, so my number 10 is another one that's a little bit heavier. I guess I'm the heavy one around here. I guess that's how it goes. But it's a band called Manticora, which I did not expect to like, but the album is really excellent. I'll quote myself again. The album is actually called To Live, To Kill, To Live. It's actually not as heavy as it sounds by that. I kind of compared them to, they're more along the lines of Nevermore, Symphony X, Dimmu Borgir, Arch Enemy, throughout. Yeah, so I'll just read off what I wrote. Between the Buried and Me, Unleash the Archers, Gamma Ray, Halloween, Glory Hammer, Ed Guy, Blind Guardian, like In Flames, Dream Theater. They're very proggy, really good songwriters. Like they make. I mean, Jack, I know you both. You guys know this. I mean, we've all written songs in our day. They make these choices where you go, oh wow, that was the right choice. Like they just make these chord progressions, and you go, holy shit, that was exactly right. The opening track is 14 minutes, but that could be dissuading. That could be like, oh, but it's excellent. Like it's.
I don't know, man. Listen to No Exit. I mean, listen to Fates Warning, No Exit. How long is that?
Yeah. I
don't care. Let it keep going.
Yeah. Right. I mean, Spock's Beard, like these bands that do. Of course, Wall of Maiden. So I'm not. I don't. But when it's a band you don't know, and you're like, oh, here, check out this 14-minute song from this band you don't know. And you're like, oh, all right. But I love that. I love that album. I think it's that's not the only song. I think it's a super strong album. And Rich, I'll go with number 9 if you don't mind, and then you go a couple. This is what I know we agree about. In the same ballpark is the new Vandenplas, the Ghost Experiment Illumination.
They're in my 10. They're in my 10, and Jack is a big fan of those guys too. You could talk about them when you're done.
Yeah. I mean, I'll just say really quickly. I thought, oh, there's the dog. So yeah, I'll just say I think it's like
let me out, Jack. Let me out. I gotta pee.
It's an excellent album. I didn't love the Ghost Experiment Part 1, to be honest. Chronicles of the Immortals, the previous duo, number 2, was a masterpiece. It was one of my favorite albums of the decade. But I think their new one is super, super good. The last one's good, but the new one is excellent. It's my number 9. All right, I'm gonna let the dog out.
Talk about the dog out. Come on, Rich, let's sing.
All right, so my 9 is Bloody Heels.
Show. Why do you invite me? I start singing.
That's awesome. It's fun. So my 9 is Bloody Heels, Ignite the Sky. You know those guys, right, Jack? They're from, where are they from? Latvia. Does anybody know where Latvia is? Yeah, Latvia.
Is that like Laka?
Yes. Latvia. Jack Mangan, do you know where Latvia is? They're Latvian.
Jack,
can't hear you. You're muted again.
Latvia. That's the country where Dr. Doom is the dictator of Latvia. No, it's Latveria. Sorry.
Dr. Doom.
Super nerd.
That's awesome. So they're from Latvia.
Yeah,
so
it's Eastern Bloc, right? Eastern Bloc. Yeah.
Okay.
Dude,
so
look at Jack. Melodic... All he does now, Rich, look at Jack.
Right?
He's got something to play with now.
Yeah.
Like you're acting like you're smart, like you're above us or something.
Right. That's interesting.
So can I say it? No, he's below us. He wasn't below us. Sorry, Jack. I got to get off your show. I'm sorry.
Say I have something that's more appropriate to play with, is what you mean, Jack.
No, it's okay. It's okay these days. Remember?
Oh, that's right.
Everything is cool.
All right, so Bloody Heels. Have you guys heard them?
Yeah,
yeah,
I know Bloody Heels. Do you know
like
them, Jack? Do you know the band? You know the guys? Yeah.
Somewhere between Skid Row, maybe Spread Eagle, LA Guns.
Like, what's that other band, Rich? Hell in the Cell?
Hell in the Club.
Hell in the Club. They're kind of like that.
Yeah, kind of like gritty glam rock, glam metal, as you want to call it.
Cool.
Yeah, that's a very cool album if you like those kind of bands from the late 80s, early 90s. And should I go to number 8 or just stick with 9?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, and then 8, I'm going to Archangel, Fallen. So that's Zach Stevens from Sabotage and Trans-Siberian Orchestra. That's his band that he did singing on with the guys from Frontiers, some of the players that play on some of the albums for the Frontiers label. So they did an album, and it's called Fallen. Very Zach era Sabotage, if you like that. So very cool.
I honestly haven't heard the album. The single was killer. I just, for whatever reason, didn't.
The record's awesome.
Yeah.
I believe it. Yeah, it's great lineup.
All right, back to Mangan.
All right. Well, see, now we're cooking. Now we're getting some speed going. So that's good, because this is going to be a controversial, divisive pick. So I'm going to mute Rich actually for this one while I talk about it. No, I'm kidding. The new Udo, We Are One. It was brave. It was a brave album. It's symphonic. I mean, literally symphonic. He did it with, here I'm going to bungle a pronunciation again, with the Musikchor der Bundeswehr. I'm sorry, German. I apologize to the entire country of Germany, but it's the German Armed Forces Band. Plus, current and past members of Accept joined him on it. It's another thing where you go like, oh yeah, whatever. He's just going to do this like high-profile, stupid thing. No, the songs are really well written. It's all original songs. He also didn't just say like, I'm going to phone it in with a bunch of covers, like with a symphony orchestra. Like they wrote all these people, like the symphony director and the players from Accept and Udo. I love so many songs on the album, and so there you go. We Are One, the new Udo. So I know Jimmy K had my back on that one, and I know that he posted about it and took a lot of heat, but I got his back. I think it's a very good album. It's actually my number 8. I really think it's very good. You can bag on it. Go ahead.
Sidebar: what was the trail mix about? Jack?
I don't know. Just I'm being like Kelly Bundy. The new. I was just I know you're a filthy animal and you like to eat, so I just was showing you.
I do. I thought maybe you're plugging them because they're sending you guitars or something.
A trail mix company sending me guitars. When they send me trail mix, he's a teacher too,
All right, so I'll go to my 7 and 6. So 7 is Stallion, Slaves of Time. Have you guys heard of them? They're one of those newer bands, kind of a mix of traditional metal with speed metal.
I think we reviewed them. That is a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me of like Raven meets Exciter.
Yeah, I was going to say a pinch of thrash too, but I like that album.
But very melodic, so very cool. And Sorcerer, Lamenting the Innocent, which is probably the coolest album cover of the year, I would say. With that evil looking priest and that really elaborate artwork that's on the cover with the throne and the girl in the chains. Have you seen it?
I remember. I need to bring it up. I can actually share my screen and bring it up, but whatever. It is a good album. Yeah, that one. It came out towards the start of the year, so it kind of
melodic doom metal. Really big hooks, big choruses, great vocals, and great riffs. But it's not like slow doom. It moves along like Candlemass songs. Very cool album. So
cool.
Yeah, those are my next 2: Stallion and Sorcerer.
All right. Well, before I go, Jack Frost, you want to jump in with anything? You want to have anything you wanted to say?
I know this is your guys' show, so let me just give you one more, and I'll be like the Frost, and I'll melt away. Okay.
You're more than welcome, man. You're more than welcome.
Oh, I know, but dude, this is your guys' show. I appreciate it. This is fun to jump on. I'm going to start my own show.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah.
What are you going to talk about? What are you going to talk about?
You and Cooper?
It's going to be the Cooper show?
Well, Jack, this probably.
I'm getting the middle finger over here from people. This is nice. Janessa's like this, giving me the finger, like, for no reason. Okay, I never pronounced this right, but it's my favorite new band in the last few years. My favorite hidden gem, Amaranth. I always say this wrong. Amaranth.
Amaranth.
Yeah, the female vocalist. She's great. Yeah,
dude,
that's good.
They
that's
have
good
3 singers. The death metal guy is crazy good. The new guy from Destiny, because the other guy left. They got the guy from Destiny. He's a great melodic singer. Dude, she's ridiculous. That band, they could shit and I would buy their record. I mean, honestly, best female, I'm going to get nailed for this one, but best female fronted band, because it's not really a female fronted band. 3 singers. It's great. I love it. Love it.
All right.
Love it. Love it. Oh, it's called Manifest.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you don't get that one, get them all. They're just great. So I just want to thank you guys for having me on as usual.
Thanks for jumping on.
So Jack, let's do a night with just Jack and Jack. All right.
All right. Yeah.
We'll have Rich call in.
Yeah, Jack talks to Jack.
Well, this is Jack.
There you go. Yeah. I've been thinking about dumping Rich anyway. He's just kind of dead weight around here anyway. So you and I will talk about that. I'm busting your balls.
Well, Jack, before you go, let everybody know what you got coming out in the year.
Yeah.
Oh well, I really can't say a lot. I'm kind of like, definitely a new 7 Witches. We're 80% through with the record. It's going great. Working on another record. I was telling you guys, it's more of a rock record with me and Carl from Diamond Head. Just a lot of amazing singers. I just want to kind of keep it a little quiet right now. If you know what I mean. I don't want to give anything away, but I promise you there will be 3 to 4 albums this year with me on guitar.
Fantastic.
We'll have you back on in a few months when you got some more updates.
I'm going to have some really cool stuff coming out, man. And I'm just going to say this. When you guys hear Ronnie Monroe's record, ex-Metal Church singer, dude, that record's going to be one of the records of the year. I got to tell you.
Wow.
It's great. It's great. Love you guys. Happy New Year's. Jack, hopefully I'll see you soon when I get out there.
Yeah.
Love you, my friend. Stop by.
Later.
Right? Bye, guys.
Yeah, definitely.
Good seeing you, man.
All right, bye.
Bye. All right. So where are we at now? We're at top 5, right?
We're closing in. I'm actually, I'll do 7 and 6, and then you can start your top 5.
All right.
And yeah, like I said, we'll go a little faster than the last couple.
Is anybody else jumping in, or this is it?
We might have one more special guest, but I know he had some other commitments that were difficult. So, by all means, like I completely get it, and I don't mean it to do with the insanity in Washington. I mean, like, just with everybody's got life and day job shit to do.
Right.
And by the way, if you're just tuning in, I'll say it one more time, and then we'll be done with the subject. Is that we realize that there's crazy shit going on in the world right now. I'm afraid to even. I've been away from the headlines for an hour. I'm afraid to even see what's going on now. But
I know, right? This was a good break, though. A little bit of a break from reality.
Yeah, exactly. We are respectful of the gravity of what is going on.
Yes.
But, we're talking about 2020. So, Moon Reverie. You forgot them, I think.
Did. Oh my God. But I did enjoy that album. Yes.
Well, it literally came out in January. I think it's my second review of the year for
that was, I remember you did that one. Yep.
Yeah. I'm sure every time the guy's name is brought up, people compare him to Yngwie, and for good reason. The guy's very Yngwie-like, but he's been around. He's not like this young kid. He's played with Uli John Roth and he's been on all kinds of great stages with all kinds of great people. Everyone who's played with him just loves the guy's name is Luca Poma, by the way, is the guitar player in Moon Reverie. It is kind of about him. I mean, just like an Yngwie album is kind of all about Yngwie. It's kind of all about him, but that's not a slight on him or his band. His band is incredible. It's an incredible band.
It's not just all like noodling and stuff. It's about good songs.
Yes, like Yngwie, like the best of Yngwie, where it's
older, 80s Yngwie.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's exactly. He's not just showing off. I will recommend End of Times and Moon Reverie Suite are basically him at his best, and the songwriting at their best. I mean, he's got some that are a little bit catchier, almost like like the later '80s Yngwie, like Trilogy and beyond, that are a little bit more catchy, a little bit more.
Odyssey with Joel and Turner.
Like Odyssey, yeah, like, exactly, a little bit more. You can sing along with it, but still, very, very, very good album. I will just warn you one quick warning: that it's a little bit of volume war, if you know what that, where the mix is just mixed so high that it's a little too loud, but doesn't detract. So my number 6 is one that was on both of our lists, is Mike LePond's Silent Assassins, The Whore of Babylon. I don't need to regurgitate what I said before. Just one of the best bass players in the world. Killer Vox from Alan Tecchio. The title track is one of the best songs of the year, hands down. It's not that heavy, but it's still just great, great stuff. The song Telltale Heart is heavy, and the Dracula Son is heavy, but also just killer traditional metal. All right, I'm ready for top 5, Rich.
Top 5.
Well, we'll do a couple. Do like your next 3. Do 5 through 3.
Trying to find this band. Hold on. Because they're in my top 5.
Thank you for watching out there, by the way. I was just saying thank you for watching out there. Feel free to jump in and talk shit. Tell us stuff we missed. Tell us we're dumb.
Our album choices suck, whatever.
Yeah, no, don't do that. But yeah, jump in and feel free to talk. All right, so Rich, what's your number 5?
So 5 is the Van and Plas, which I think you have that on your list too, right?
Yeah, we talked about it when the dog had to go out.
Yes, that's right. All right, so yes, great prog metal with great songs, not too proggy, not overly thought with all the playing and all the fancy musicianship. It's all about really good songs, which is important. And then my 4 is Oz, Forced Commandments. Do you remember those guys?
I remember them. I didn't. I completely missed that album. Was not aware of it at all.
I'm trying to find they're like Swedish or something. I can't remember what. I'm trying to find them, and now they're not coming up.
This was you on Brave Words and MetalAsylum. I see it on MetalAsylum.
Yeah. Can you see if you can find them?
Yeah, I'll Google the band.
I don't know why I can't find them. So anyway, yeah, it's they put a really good album out in the early '80s. Fire in the Brain. If you remember that cover.
They're from Finland. I don't remember the cover, but I'm looking right now.
They had the hand with the skull. I don't think they're from Finland.
Oh, the hand with the skull and a metal album cover? That narrows it down. Sorry, I'm a little punchy. I'll look it up. It's Fire in the Brain. They're Finnish.
They're Finnish.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the classic album was Fire in the Brain, 1983. So they put out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, another 5 albums sporadically since then. So this is a really cool return, I thought. Melodic, still traditional heavy metal. Some great riffs, good hooks. Even gets a little bit more melodic into like just regular hard rock songs too, which is why I enjoyed it so much. So a very solid return from them.
All right.
That's we're up to number 4, so you got 2 more to go.
Yeah. So yeah, my number 5 and my number 4. My number 5 is one that I don't know if Rich will like, but that's okay. It's Ascension of the Watchers. It's their Apocrypha album. It is. It kind of skirts around the borders of metal and goth. It's Burton Bell who's famous from Fear Factory.
Okay.
And actually, I interviewed Jace Lewis from Ascension of the Watchers earlier the year. Super nice guy. And if through some weird chance you're watching Jace Lewis, then you're a good guy. And I'm sorry for, he was actually very good friends with David Prowse, like, very, very close. So, my condolences on your loss. But Ascension of the Watchers, just a beautiful album. Burton Bell doesn't do any of his growl. I mean, he's kind of famous for doing kind of a roaring growl in Fear Factories. It's all what Jace Lewis called his goth voice. And what's funny is that the very last song on the album is a Terrence Trent D'Arby cover, which I'm like, how the fuck did that happen? But it's they really make it just beautiful. So Ascension of the Watchers, it's dark. It's just incredible. My number 4 is one that took me by surprise. From Sweden. I know they're from Sweden this time. This time around, I'll get the country right. But it's the band Elaine. The album is Dancing in Hell. Power prog, symphonic, orchestral metal. And the lead vocalist is Madeleine Liljestam, who, a lot of the band's press and promotion is about her just incredible beauty. And rightfully so. She's gorgeous, but she's also just got an amazingly good voice. She's just got a great voice. The guitar player Richard Eckberg, excuse me, he does some growls. So it's another Beauty and the Beast kind of band. He kind of sounds like a Muppet sometimes, but just so many great songs. It's funny. I was playing this in the car with my youngest, and they said, "Is this a song from Frozen?" While we were listening to it. And I looked, and the name of the song was called "Die from Within." So I was like, I guess I won't say the name of the song, but at least there's another song that's called "Where Your Rotting Corpse Lie." So at least it wasn't that one. But the lyrics are go there, but it's not. It's very melodic. It's just again, I'll use the word again. It's a beautiful album. It's what I like best about that genre of symphonic, operatic, power, prog metal. So there you have it. My number. All right. So what are your number 3 and your number 2? How about that?
All right. So I'm going with Girish and the Chronicles, "Rock the Highway." I know
you've been talking these guys up. Yeah.
Talked about them. They're an Indian band from India.
That's right.
And I've noticed they've been really making some waves on the internet and stuff. People really started to discover them, and they've been sharing them on a lot of the melodic hard rock and hair metal and glam metal pages. So they're carrying on those traditions from the 80s with the riffs, the melodies, the hooks, the heavy guitars. They got the look, they got the sound. These guys should be a lot bigger than what they are. So hopefully, the more attention they get over here, the better. Cool. So I really enjoyed that album. Yep, they got a couple videos, a couple singles on YouTube. So look them up. Girish and the Chronicles, "Rock the Highway."
Very cool. And we had some good bands out of India in 2019 as well. There was a number of really good ones. So the Indian metal scene is flourishing for sure. But anyway, so your number 2.
The Armored Saint, "Punching the Sky," which you talked about before.
Yeah.
Yep. So solid Armored Saint. They haven't lost a beat.
John Bush is just a treasure. He's just so damn good. He's such a great singer. Yeah. And I mean, I will not throw shade at his era in Anthrax, but I think this is where I feel like
I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah, I feel like this is where he belongs. I think there are a number of great songs out of that era. But I feel like this is where he
still all the original guys from let me see. Well, the one member passed away, so it's everybody else that's the original members after he was replaced.
Right.
Going forward. So it's still the same band. It's Bush, Farah, Duncan, Gonzo on drums, and Phil Sandoval on lead guitar.
That's right. Yeah.
Phil, right. and you got Jeff Duncan on rhythm guitar, and he plays the lead too sometimes. And Vera on bass, Bush, and Gonzo. So it's still basically the classic lineup. It is the classic lineup still.
It's funny. 2 members of this band declined offers to join Metallica. Joey Vera and John Bush, of course. In the early days, John Bush declined, and then Joey Vera did when Metallica were pretty big. So,
right. All right. And your 3 and 2?
My 3 and 2. Number 3 is, I should have looked up the proper pronunciation. It's my number 3 band, for fuck's sake. But Haken, maybe Haken. This is prog metal to the core. Yeah, their album Virus, which unfortunate name for 2020, but I'm sure they had it planned out long before.
Wow.
Yeah. The song Prosthetic is just the most monstrous opening. It's such a great song. But again, it's kind of like what I said earlier about Alchemist, and they they just make all the right songwriting choices, and also just on a superficial level, kudos to them. There's there's some shorter songs, and then there's this long piece called the I'm spacing on it. Anyway, I won't go and look it up now. They broke it up so that you can listen to it in 10-minute chunks instead of like a half an hour track. Which is, again, that doesn't really matter, but it makes life easier when you're listening to them. You're not committing to a half an hour. Mm-hmm. And all you snobs out there, don't come at me about that. I love smart music, and I love Tubular Bells. I love it, but sometimes you got Anyway, I'll side that topic. The Virus album is excellent, a very good album. I think you would like it a lot, Rich. So check that one out. Okay. My number 2 is no surprise to anyone. The Draconian, Under a Godless Veil, is just this band. Their Sovereign album was possibly my favorite album of the entire decade that just passed. And Under a Godless Veil, it's not. I don't hold it up as high as that, but I mean that's kind of unfair. That's like going, oh, Justice for All is good, but it's not as good as Master of Puppets. Like, well, it's kind of like the same kind of thing. It's just Heike Langen is to me one of the greatest vocalists of all time. Literally, she's just. They also do the Beauty and the Beast back and forth, where they have the growled vocals and then her kind of softer, more pretty female lead vocals. But brilliant songwriting, brilliant music, just brilliant mood. Dark, but still with a shimmer of light. It's just Under Godless Veil by Draconian is just as good as it gets. It's my number 2, so I guess maybe it's not the best, but it's pretty goddamn great.
That's pretty darn close, right? So what are they like? Yeah. Would you call them melodic death metal, maybe?
No, I would consider them melodic doom. I mean, they're so somber. They're so somber.
Because they don't have those fast, aggressive rhythms and riffs and beats and things.
Right. They utilize. They'll drop it in, but it kind of comes in and comes out pretty fast. They don't really get into it. And this album actually doesn't really have any. It's heavy. I mean, it's absolutely a heavy album, but it's. I'll use this word again. It's just beautiful. It's a great one. So I think we're almost. I mean, we've gone over time, but yeah, we're at our number 1s. So I mean, it looks like. By the way, I'll just say our. I'll wait. Go ahead. Tell us your number 1.
Right. So number 1 is Heat 2. So they're a Swedish melodic hard rock band, a little bit of glam metal, if you want to call it, or hair metal, whatever term you want to use. But this album is just loaded with hooks, great riffs, good keyboards. They don't really dominate the song too much. There's a nice balance between the riffs and the keyboards. But every damn song on this album I can go back to. It's just a sing-along hard rock with some good metal guitars sometimes in there too, with a great edge. So they should be huge over here.
Yeah, they're not quite AOR, but yeah.
They can. There's a couple songs on the new album that go into AOR, but the rest of them are definitely hard rockers. Great band. You just said something, an album that was kind of dark. This is the light. This is really bright. You want something that's uplifting and positive and makes you feel good and still going to rock hard. Go with the Heat 2.
All right. Cool. All right. Yeah. I actually didn't. I knew that you loved that album. I didn't realize it was going to be your number 1. But it is a good album. All right. My number 1 is, again, no surprise to anyone who knows me. It's actually kind of in the same vein. I don't want to pigeonhole myself because my tastes are pretty broad, pretty diverse. But number 1 is in the same neighborhood as Draconian. Of course, it's the new Oceans of Slumber self-titled album. It's just, they're very cross-genre. They're proggy, they're doomy, they're deathy. They're much heavier than Draconian, but also much lighter. And Dauber Beverly is a friend of the show. He's a great guy. He's been on
the show once.
Yeah, he's right. He's been on. He's incredible. He's kind of the band quarterback, and he can kind of do it all. He's one of the world's most respected drummers for good reason. He does an incredible job on the drums, but he's also a very established guitar player and piano player. The guy's amazing. But it's not about him. It's the songs are incredible, and of course, everyone who talks about Oceans of Slumber gets into what I'm about to get into. Is that they have the best singer in the world. As Cammie Gilbert is.
She does have a great voice, incredible voice.
Yeah, she's unbelievable. She's just got the most powerful, fiercest, sexiest, just strongest voice in all of metal. She's just really brings it.
What's good about her? She's unique. She doesn't sound like all the other female singers because a lot of them have similarities, especially when you get into the symphonic metal bands.
Right.
And she sounds nothing like any of them.
That's a great point, and I totally agree. I mean, I won't trash because I like a lot of those vocalists.
Yeah,
I like a lot of them.
No knock against them, but there is similarities. But she just does not sound like anything like any of those bands.
But right, yeah, and to add to Rich's point, if she joined those bands, the material would be amazing with her on it. And if one of them replaced her in Oceans of Slumber, the material would suffer a little bit. I shouldn't say suffer because some of those vocalists.
Well, musically, it's very different. That's why.
Yeah, and also her style. She brings a lot of just great soul and great power. The song "To the Sea" is just gets me every time. It's just a beautiful song. It just wrecks me. There's a bunch of like little Michael Nyman-esque piano interludes, but then it's also "Adorned Fathomless Creation" is heavy as fuck. It is so heavy, but it's also heavy alone does not mean good, but it actually manages to be a good song while like bringing the growls and bringing the heaviness. So that's my number one, Oceans of Slumber.
Cool.
You cannot go wrong. So, well, before we go, I want to just say really quickly, we have some honorable mentions, which we won't dwell on. I think we'll just rattle them off rapid fire, right. and then hang up because I think we've been at this a while. My throat's starting to go.
Yeah.
My dinner's starting to get cold, and plus, if you've been watching all this time, thank you very much. But yeah, you've been here.
Thanks for checking our list. So all right. So my honorable mentions was the Alcatraz, Born Innocent, the Royal Hunt, which just came out about a month ago, Dystopia. The Primal Fear, Metal Commando, which is enjoyable. They're always enjoyable. And the Jeff Scott Soto, like I said, I didn't have enough time to listen to it. It just came out too late, And then there was a reissue of Kix Midnight Dynamite, relit, which is killer, with a bonus disc with demos and things like that.
Yeah.
So
Kix has our viewership record, by the way, if you didn't know that. Kix is our most viewers on our live stream.
They just killed it with viewership and shares and likes and comments. They just killed it. Good for them.
Yeah.
And got this book about Saxon from Martin Popoff, about their 80s era. That's a good read. And of course, the Bible for the 80s, I would say, is Mark Weiss's The Decade That Rocked. This is just look at this thing. I could break a window with this.
Santa Claus brought that, right?
Oh yeah, Santa definitely. He had to bring, I think, like his own pillowcase for this. This thing is huge, but it's awesome. It's got everyone and everything in it. He basically photographed everybody.
Yeah, the guy is legend, and we had him on not that long ago. The guy is legend. The guy, is a good guy too, and great.
You talked to him at the Metal Hall of Fame.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. What are the honorable mentions you got?
Well, I'm going to combine. I have two lists, but I'll just rattle through them both. There were things that I might have missed or didn't get to, just like Rich was talking about. I did not get to Rob Halford's autobiography. Confess.
I didn't get that either yet. Yep.
Which I like. I'm a big reader, so I just haven't gotten to it yet.
I heard it's a great book. I
did not do justice to the Arion album, which came with a comic attached to it, and it's a concept album. I'm very intrigued, and actually, Cammie Gilbert is a guest vocalist on it. She plays one of the characters. Tom Baker of Doctor Who does a narration, so that's a neat album.
Cool.
I didn't get to the Raven. I really liked the previous Royal Hunt. I didn't get to the new one, and then there's actually a Mexican band called Semican who do traditional, like Mexican influenced music. So it's not based on modern Mexican culture. It's based on like ancient Mexican culture. So they're a neat band. Their last album kicked ass. I slept on the 2020 release. My honorable mentions, I'm just going to rattle them off. White Swan from Kitty. The Kitty drummer is a singer on it. It's called Nocturnal Transmissions. It's an excellent EP. Zeal and Ardor, if you know me, I'm a big fan of Manuel Gagnon. He put out an EP this year, which is very much in a response to some of the horrors that we saw go on this year. There's a song which has quotes about the George Floyd incident, and it's a very powerful, very brilliant album. There's a tiny band on the East Coast called Aetherius. Their EP was called Chaos, Order, Renewal. Every song is brilliant. Had it been a full-length album, it would have been in my top 10. It's all instrumental, still just brilliant. Please do more Aetherius, and please pay attention to them. They're super talented. Diamond Head's Lightning to the Nations 2020. They re-recorded Lightning to the Nations. Their classic album. And I love, there's no slight on Sean Harris's work or the original album. I love them both. But the new one, they also added some fun covers, and plus the songs just, modern recording technology. Like Am I Evil? I think now that is the definitive version of that song.
It does really sound. It's got so much power to it now.
Right. And Rasmus, I mean, what a vocalist. The guy is just unbelievable. He's just so good. Like they do the Immigrant song, and they do a Deep Purple song. And I think they do a Priest song. I think they just do that just to show off. Like, look what we got on vocals. Look at how good this guy is. All right, I got a couple more. I want to go through them quickly. Mr. Bungle's The Raging Wrath of the Easter Bunny demo. It's another one that's a re-record, but it has Dave Lombardo and Scott Ian. And Scott Ian, I was just kidding earlier. I don't look anything like you, but Mr. And of course, Mike Patton.
I love that title. What is it called? The Raging Wrath of the Easter Bunny.
Yeah, that was their original demo.
That's definitely title of the year.
Yeah. Well, it was also the title of the year.
Sorcerer gets the best cover art, and they get the best title. That's awesome.
And it's heavy. I mean, I've said this before. Scott Ian is arguably, I mean, for years I always thought, like, yeah, Hetfield is probably the greatest rhythm guitarist of all time. I don't know. Scott Ian just makes everything great. And as I said,
his riffs are pretty damn tight.
Right. And as I think I said it on my Metal Hall of Fame Facebook post, imagine those SOD songs with a lesser guitar player, with someone who wasn't as chuggy and powerful as Scott Ian. All right. So moving right along. Okay. Ellison's No Cover is a double album. It's kind of another one along the lines of what Jack Frost was talking about earlier. They do it's all covers. Even the cover, even the album cover art is a cover.
It's fun. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it's a blast. It's a blast of an album, and really so many killer songs. Like their Fastway cover is great. They do a great Crocus cover. Their Priest cover is just, it blows your hair back if you have any. Morse, Portnoy, and George did another album of covers. There's actually an anthology called Cover to Cover. There's volumes 1 through 3. Again, all kinds of stuff from the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and they just kill it. Like, it's just every song is good, and of course across 3 albums. I mean, you can't beat that.
Yeah.
All right, I'm almost to the end, I promise. GWAR, Scum Dogs of the Universe had a 30th anniversary edition. That was it's such a great album. I know the GWAR are known for their gimmick and their schlock, but that is a legitimately solid riffed metal album. I know that some of the humor is not aged well, but it's just a great album. The new version, the remix, sounds pretty great. A non-metal band, but they're heavy as fuck, so they're on this list, is Hum. They're heavy shoegaze. Their album Inlet. The riffs are just nasty, just awesome album. And now a band actually that I reviewed on Metal Asylum, but in retrospect I thought, they're probably not quite metal, is a Gosta Berling's Saga. Their album Concrete Music.
Like I said earlier, you come up with some interesting bands and things I've never heard of to check out. It's very cool.
Yeah, that album is awesome. It's a little bit of Kraftwerk, a little bit. It's got some heaviness to it, so that's why I originally did the review for Metal Asylum. But it's solid. And my final honorable mention is not an album, but is I Am Michael Alago, Breathing Music, Signing Metallica, Beating Death. It's by Michael Alago and Laura Davis Chanin are the authors. It's basically his life story. He also did the Who the Fuck Is That Guy Netflix documentary special.
Yep, that was a great movie.
Yeah, and we've had him on. I mean, the guy did literally launch Metallica into the stratosphere. He's a super guy. I'm so glad we had him on.
Great guest and a very nice guy.
Yeah, great stories, great guy. I'd say read the book. It's great stuff. And that's it. I'm done talking.
Yeah, it's been a long day, right?
Yeah.
Well, thanks everybody for watching, and we'll be back again next week. Actually, I mean, we could say who we're going to talk to, because I think it's going to be a go, right?
Yeah, I mean,
so we're going to have on Mike Sabatini from Attacker, legendary New Jersey traditional heavy metal band from the '80s. So check us out next week when we talk to him.
Going to Helm's Deep.
Helm's Deep, yes.
So we brought up, there's the second Lord of the Rings reference. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that. Very cool stuff. Anyway, Rich, as I said, our lists are very different. Your list is very cool. Sorry if you're looking for controversy. Sorry if you're looking for us to throw shade. Rich's list is good stuff. And I'm going to do a little bit of homework and listen to some of the things that I didn't give enough attention to from Rich's list. But yeah, thanks everyone. Stay safe out there. Stay sane. And I'm going to shut up and let Rich have the last word. But,
that's all right. We'll see you guys next week and in the rest of 21. Thanks for watching. Do your homework as well. Check out some of these albums. Support new music.